Yo, what's up everybody, it's Jonathan and welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about the OnePlus 2. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly truth of the 2016 flagship killer. It almost seems like for every good side of this phone, there's like a bad counterpart. And I'm going to tell you why and what it is. This is my full review and full experience with the OnePlus 2. So last year's OnePlus 1 was awesome. It packed killer specs and it competed with a lot of the flagships that were pretty much overpriced compared to the OnePlus 1. But when they released the OnePlus 2, everybody had high hopes for this phone, including myself, and I have to say I'm a bit disappointed. So starting with the build quality, the OnePlus 2 trumps the OnePlus 1. It feels like a premium handset when you hold it, and the Sandstone Black model has also been improved, making it a bit more durable compared to last year's model. Plus the back is a lot easier to remove versus the OnePlus 1. And underneath you're going to find a dual SIM card slot. They're both nano SIM card slots and chances are you won't take advantage of this feature like myself, so it would have been smarter for OnePlus to include an SD card slot. Now the style swap covers are ready right out of the gate. My favorite is the dark wood one you see right there on the right, and that's a major improvement over last year when there was a waiting period just to get a bamboo one. But as for me, I'm rocking a skin from Slick Wraps. This is the black carbon fiber series and it looks awesome. It just makes your phone look a lot more unique and it just gives it a better grip than any of the style swap covers that I've used so far. If you guys want one, you can find a link in the description of this video. Make sure you get one for yourself and customize it to your liking. When you pick up the OnePlus 2, you automatically realize that this thing feels amazing and it's probably one of the best phones I've ever held in the palm of my hand. And all that metal on the side and more premium build quality comes with a cost because it actually weighs more than some of the other flagships on the market. And if you can deal with that, then you'll be fine. As far as the button placement goes, I found it to be extremely aggravating, at least in my experience. It might be different for you. The buttons are too close together, they don't stick out far enough, and there's really no tactileness behind either button, meaning that there's no texture and it's hard to differentiate the two when you're blindly pressing those buttons. And if you're like me, you'll hit that volume down button as the power button several times. The alert slider on the OnePlus 2 is amazing and by far my favorite feature, and I cannot find anything to complain about it. It's very tactile, it slides easy, and to me it blows the mute toggle switch on the iOS devices such as the iPhone away, and I absolutely love using this thing and I use it quite frequently. The OnePlus 2 has a slight curve on its back, making it a very ergonomical phone. Not as much so as the Moto X, but it's still extremely comfortable. It gives you a natural feeling when you're holding it whenever you're texting or scrolling through websites, and it almost feels like you're not going to drop it. It's not a one-handed phone by any means, but it's still extremely comfortable to use with one hand. Now the OnePlus 1 packed dual mono speakers, and on first glance you would think that the OnePlus 2 had dual mono speakers, but in fact only one of those is a speaker and it doesn't get anywhere near as loud as the OnePlus 1 did. So shame on you OnePlus for going backwards with your audio quality out of your phone. To make up for this, they've put an equalizer built into the software, and it's pretty much the same equalizer that CyanogenMod OS had with a few minor tweaks, and overall it works great. When I connected it to my Bluetooth in my car, I really didn't like the quality coming out of it though, so I just turned it off. But coming straight out of the phone, you get minimal distortion and you can get your volume quite loud. So changing things up a little bit, let's talk about the physical buttons on the OnePlus 2 that allow you to navigate through your phone. And the home button looks a lot like something Samsung would do, except there's no clicking sound, there's no clicking motion actually, there's no tactile feel period. Instead you just put your finger over it and then it acts as a home button. And it also has a built-in fingerprint scanner. When I first received my OnePlus 2, I thought the fingerprint scanner was horrendous. Half of the time it didn't work and it was very slow, but since then they've pushed 2 updates and it makes it much more responsive and fluid. But does it compare to Touch ID or the one found on the S6 or Note 5? To me personally, no, but others may tell you different. Now the whole home button thing found on the OnePlus 2 is just a severe pain in the ass, and it just really makes me aggravated because it's so delayed, and I've turned off the double tap to do an action and it's still very delayed, and honestly I don't have any use for it. I ended up just completely turning it off and using on-screen keys and just leaving the double tap feature on the home button. You really just have to tap it just right in order to get it to work properly, but the background app switcher and the back button work flawlessly, and I really like the new design. It makes it very minimalistic. Instead of having an icon on your phone, now you have 2 blue lines. And of course with Oxygen OS, these buttons are fully customizable. You can turn off the backlight, you can swap the buttons, you can add double tap actions, you can do a lot of things with those buttons and it makes it awesome. Honestly, when I first took my OnePlus 2 out of the box, turned it on, I was so impressed with the display. I loved it. Colors are actually pretty accurate. Though the display runs a little bit on the cool side, I've noticed overall the saturation and contrast looks great. great, and it's overall a very sharp display. I mean, if you just take a look here, you can see blacks get dark and inky and whites get nice and bright, and not as much as an AMOLED display, but still great for an LCD. But here's the ugly truth behind that display. It looks great when you're in a shaded area or you're indoors, but when you're in a very lit area or direct sunlight, it's very glossy, and it makes it hard to see whatever is on your display. The display really doesn't get that bright, even though it does get bright enough to make out most of the things on your screen. In some instances, it's very washed out like you see here. And to go along with that, I would say viewing angles are about average. I wouldn't say they're good, but I wouldn't say they're poor. The OnePlus 2 features USB Type-C, and I wholeheartedly agree with OnePlus that it's the wave of the future, and I love the idea of USB Type-C. However, their implementation of it sucks. All you get is a reversible USB plug. You get USB 2.0 speeds, and you don't get any fast charging. It's almost like they wanted to go head to head with Apple's Lightning charger, and in a way they kinda did, but still their implementation is poor. And while I'm thinking about it, you also get no NFC, meaning that when you want to pair your phone up with your camera like you see here, or even use Android Pay, it's a no-go, unless of course you use the Wi-Fi connection built into your camera. And you also get no wireless charging, so you don't get any fast charging or wireless charging, so you might as well just grab it and get out of here. So the OnePlus 2 is running Android 5.1.1, which is technically the latest version of Android currently, and they have been extremely fast at pushing out updates to fix any bugs or anything going wrong with their software. And I have to say, it's extremely fluid, much more fluid than when I first got it. It's pretty much running a stock version of Android, but there's a lot of customization built into their OS, such as the buttons that I showed you earlier. You also have some visible customization, so you can go into dark mode and change the highlighted colors, and you can also switch around the quick toggles that you saw on the notification center. I really didn't have any use for their shelving system that shows your frequent contacts or your most recent apps, so I ended up just downloading the Google Now launcher and it worked flawlessly. So it's a pretty smooth software experience, nothing to complain about, right? Wrong. This thing destroys battery life. It's a 3300 milliamp hour battery powering a 1080p display, so it should rock. But I'm getting better battery life on my Note 5 with a Quad HD display, a larger display, and it has a smaller battery. Why do you ask? Well, there's actually a feature built into the software that allows the phone not to sleep. Therefore, your standby time is going to be atrocious. And I posted a picture of it actually on Twitter and Instagram displaying that feature and what it does. So the OnePlus 2 packs some of the highest specs on the market. It packs a Snapdragon 810 processor, which has actually been underclocked to avoid the overheating problem. 4 gigabytes of RAM for your multitasking dreams, and gaming is a blast, and I've had no issues when it comes to performance at all. Wait for it. Yes, the Snapdragon 810, though it is underclocked and it is a modified version, still gets significantly hot on the back. Not hot enough to where it's going to burn you, but hot enough to be a little bit uncomfortable and make your palms sweat when you're gaming. Okay, Jonathan, we pretty much covered all the special features of the OnePlus 2, but really, how does it perform when it comes to using it just as a phone? Well, I'm happy to tell you when it came to texting or browsing the web or even making phone calls, my experience has been excellent. I mean, despite it not having Wi-Fi calling or voice over LTE, it's been crystal clear, and I really haven't had any issues. In fact, I've had some of the best reception on this phone versus some of the other phones I've used outside the Moto G. My only gripe, the volume doesn't get loud enough for me. Oh yeah, and speakerphone sucks balls. It doesn't get anywhere near loud enough for my liking. The camera on the OnePlus 2 has been improved. It's still 13 megapixels, but it has an improved sensor with the f2.0 aperture. It features laser autofocus, and it does have optical image stabilization. Now, the LG G4 and G3 both feature laser autofocus, but it definitely wasn't my favorite. Although it was fast, I didn't find it to be the fastest on the market. And the same thing can be said about the OnePlus 2, though it is fast, especially in good lighting as you can see here, but as we slowly crank the lights down, and if you look to the far left, you can see it's a bit dimmer than the previous scene, it starts to get a little bit slower. So Journey called and they told me to turn the lights down, so I did. And now you can see the laser autofocus is actually performing significantly slower compared to how it was performing in good lighting, and it's not the most accurate as well. And the other thing, it's a really slow shutter. So good luck getting those fast action shots, but the software within the camera app is actually super simplistic, and I really enjoy it a lot, and there's really nothing for me to complain about here, and I can assure you that it will perform just fine. It's pretty much a stock Google app with a few modifications, including beauty mode and clear image. You are capable of capturing 4K video and producing some amazing images. The front-facing camera is a 5 megapixel shooter, and the quality is meh. I did take a few samples, so that way you guys can get a basic idea of what to expect. You're definitely capable of producing some beautiful images like the one you see here. Clear image is awesome, and HDR is definitely a plus, but be careful how you use HDR because you can bring in a lot more noise and just make your picture look a little bit too processed. Low light capability is also a big negative. It doesn't perform well at all in low light, and it lets in a ton of noise. 4K video quality is pretty much spot on. It's not the best on the market, but it's definitely far from the worst. You do get a jello effect when you use optical image stabilization, so you still need to stabilize to the best best of your ability. And then the audio that the microphone picks up when recording video does not sound that great at all. But I'm gonna go ahead and hush and let you guys enjoy the rest of these clips. Oh yeah, and just like any other Android phone on the market, their slow motion is terrible. It lets in tons of noise, tons of grain, and the image just does not look good at all. Time-lapse is really cool, and you get some amazing quality out of it, and you can definitely pull off some awesome shots. But the final verdict is the OnePlus 2, the flagship killer of 2016. No, it's hard to be a flagship killer of a future year when your phone is not future-proof with the necessities. Though priced right, less than $400, it's hard to pass up on a phone like this, but I can assure you, you can get phones in that price range that at least have NFC, such as the Moto X Play, with no invite needed. Do I recommend it? Not so much, unless of course you want a collector's item in case they go out of business. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop me a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and make sure you follow me on all my social media connections. And of course, as always guys, I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.